about 6:43 right now, and the sunrise is just getting prettier and prettier.
When's the last time we had one of those sunrises?
I don't know, it's been a little while.
Right, where we don't have all that fog and
nice.
yeah. But you have the clouds give the sky a little texture, and you get those better looking.
Yesterday was foggy.
But we haven't had one where it's like blue sky.
That looks like it's almost like a fall.
Right? Wouldn't that be nice? Don't get too excited.
I'm just saying it looks.
I understand.
He said the word.
He said, and it would be nice if we could bring it in here. We're still a couple of weeks away, only about 3 weeks away technically, but that's we got other things, other fish to fry before we get there. First things first, let's start with the short term. Let's start with the local. What's going on here and now? Do you see a little green on the radar? That's not rain. It's still some of that low-level moisture being extra stubborn, especially near the coast. But I think we did start to feel that little change yesterday later in the afternoon, the evening, to bring in some of that drier air. And you will definitely notice a difference when you step outside this morning. Futurecast doesn't have a whole lot for us all day today, not even a lot of clouds. So count on more sunshine today, which is going to get those temperatures going. And with the air being a little drier, those temperatures are going to be able to climb even higher. I'm expecting it to be even warmer today than it was yesterday. Yesterday was hot, but we still also had some of that humidity around yesterday. We'll have much less today, and that's got everything to do with this drier air that's washing across the eastern part of the United States, and we probably get to keep that for like 2 days. Go farther to the east, and we do see Dorian out there north of Puerto Rico. Ahead of Dorian is still that little counterclockwise circulation. South of Dorian is some of that drier air. So there are some factors out there trying to work on this system. We'll certainly keep our eyes on it and see how those can interact with Dorian in the short term. Little changes now will mean big changes in where that storm is able to go down the road. And we still have several days before we expect that to be anywhere near the southeastern United States. Higher pressure, helping out that dry air. A little breeze today from the north is going to bring in more of that dry. So today, while it gets hot, it's going to feel a little different out there, a little bit better, even if it is mid-90s kind of hot. Now, I think we get that for a day, maybe two. I wish that second push of cooler and drier we're going to be able to get here, but it's not looking like that's going to happen. So we'll start to see the winds turn back to the east this weekend. And when that happens, we start to bring back some of that soupy stuff before we start looking and seeing where Dorian is. And by Saturday especially, we'll have a much better handle on what's going on with that tropical system. We should probably have an even better handle later this morning, but I think later tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we're going to start to see some changes in some of those other things in the way of the storm, and that's when we'll start to really be able to fine-tune and sharpen up that forecast path for you. It's 71 right now in Valdosta, 72 in Thomasville, it's 75 in Tallahassee. Still a little on the warm side. 72 is our normal morning low this time of the year. Camilla's now down to 69. Blakely still hanging on to 64, and I do think a few more areas could drop out of the 70s into the 60s this morning. Better chances for more areas into the 60s tomorrow morning with another full day of that drier air in place. No fog to worry about. I don't expect that to be an issue today, and I don't expect the heat index to be a big issue today. So today, when the actual air temperatures climb into the mid-90s, it'll feel like it's in the mid-90s as opposed to when they were climbing into the low 90s and it felt like it was up over 105 with all that icky, sticky humidity. Things pretty quiet across the lower 48, and for the next couple of days, they're going to stay that way. Here's Dorian now, and it's moving a little bit north, a little bit northwest. A lot of the convection is to the north of the storm, and it certainly doesn't look all that impressive on the tropical satellite presentation now because it is running into a couple of those obstacles, and it's going to continue doing that for at least a little while longer. The 5 o'clock numbers have the winds at 85 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 13. The internal pressure actually rose a little bit from 11 o'clock last night when it was at 986 millibars, now at 991 millibars. Is that a big change? Not really, but it's just something that tells us these storm systems go through these cycles where they get a little stronger, get a little weaker, encounter some difficulties. One of the things the computers have been agreeing on is strengthening this storm to Category 3 strength over the next couple of days, over those warm waters, especially with the storm staying well north of the Bahamas. So, stronger storm making its way towards the southeast. Some of the computers want to take it way down in South Florida. Some want to take it way up into parts of coastal Georgia. There's still a big variation, and that variation is going to continue for another day. We'll start to be able to fine-tune that more and more, I think, tomorrow, and especially as we get to Saturday. I know how frustrating that is, but we have to watch and see what this does. It's more important to be right than it is to be first here. On the Gulf today, winds out of the northeast 8 to 16, seas 2 to 4 feet. We'll put a light to moderate chop in the protected waters. The UV index this time of year still a 10 or 11. Today is going to be a great day to be outside. It's going to be a little hot, but that Definitely lack of humidity is going to make it feel better, but make sure you get the sunblock on if you're going to be outdoors enjoying a little bit more sunshine and lower humidity. Low tides, what we're doing next this morning, 60s and 70s, certainly less muggy. Going to keep the rain chances around 10%. I think this afternoon, mid-90s and kind of widespread. I think everybody's got a pretty good chance to get there. Tonight, clearer skies, less muggy. There should be a few more upper 60s. And as we move into the upcoming days, our forecast in the short term looks great for late August. But as we head towards Saturday, Sunday, things are heavily dependent on what Dorian does. And it does look like if we're going to have any impacts from that, it wouldn't be until probably at least Monday, guys.